Not quite lucky.
Hi, it's John from positiveresolution.co.uk and welcome to episode 6 of the Business Growth Weekly. As usual, I'm joined by my good friend Stephen Swift from YorkshireMarketingBusiness.com. Hi Steve, how are you doing?
I'm good, John. Yourself?
I'm not so bad. Yeah. Episode 6. What are we
Yeah,
talking about
finally.
today?
Today, I believe that we're going to be talking about resources that you and I have found invaluable in some cases to the growth of our businesses and for the services that we offer to our clients. So, I think we're just going to be sharing those bits with people today and go and check them out themselves on the back of I suppose like an endorsement for ourselves. Again, it's given out there, freely. It's up to the people watching the videos to decide: is it right for them? Is it worth them spending the time sourcing the product, spending money on the product where there is a purchase requirement or element needed? I will be giving some free resources out today, so no cost whatsoever to people. So, how about yourself, John?
Well, to be honest, when we were talking this through, we were obviously we talked about maybe looking at the top five, and I had a problem with keeping it down to five, to be honest. But yeah, I've got a few bits and pieces here which I'm going to talk through, and hopefully, well, I think people will find it of value. I certainly did. And do you want to start off and talk us through your first one, Steve?
Yeah, of course I can, John. Yeah, no problem. Well, the first one that I got is a purchase one as opposed to the free one. I'll leave the good stuff, the free stuff for later on. So let's get the expensive things out of the way first. For me, there's an invaluable resource which I have read, hence it's a book. No secrets there. But it's a book which opened my mind to a lot of things. It enabled me to rethink things in a completely different light, and it also helped me to focus my efforts when things seemed impossible, when things seemed like they were out of reach, when the journey that I was taking with the business seemed like it couldn't actually find the right route to take. This book helped me keep me on track somewhat. Now, I've given quite a few
It's
clues away in what I've said there, so
it,
people that
it's
have already read this book would probably know what it actually is.
it's my autobiography.
So why did you charge me then? So the book in question is a very, very well-known book. Uh, Now, at this point, I was going to be a bit humorous and throw up a book like Jamie Oliver's 15-Minute Meals or Lewis Hamilton, My Life kind of thing. But no, I thought I'd keep it serious. So I've gone for the Roy Chubby Brown. No, I haven't. I've gone for this one. Hopefully,
Ah,
is that okay?
oh
Uh,
yes.
it's entitled for the greatest motivational book of all time, Think and Grow Rich. Reveals the money-making secrets of hundreds of America's most affluent people. By thinking like them, you can become like them. And Napoleon Hill's 13-step program will set you on the path to wealth and success. So, I mean, this is a powerful 1937 classic, but with present-day analysis from self-development authority Tom Butler Bowden, who does a pre-paragraphs at the beginning, and then you continue reading obviously through the decades of the economic boom and bust of providing the magic formula to making money, and that it never actually changes. So when you're looking to start a business with the Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich, in case people couldn't quite see the title, because it is a bit awkward in the shiny writing on the top, it's the principles that still can be applied today in today's world. So when people say, "Oh, economic climate, oh, there's gloom and doom everywhere," and "Oh, businesses are going bust. What's the point in starting a business now?" Well, don't then. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Don't start a business. You're right. And if you turn around to me and say, "I'm going to start a business because I know I can make a success for it," you're absolutely right.
yeah.
Crack on.
Fantastic.
It's whatever you want to do.
It's a fantastic book actually, and it was on my list, and I nearly put it in my top five, but it leads very nicely into my first pick, which is uh,
Well, then
which is
carry
this.
on. Now one.
Yeah, which is, I don't know if people can see this. This is an audio cassette tape
Yes, yeah,
set.
still
The
the science
science
of
the
personal
science
achievement.
of personal achievement, Napoleon Hill,
Yes.
and I'll just show you the inside of this. You can see there. You can probably get it on CD now, but 6 tapes there. There's a little booklet in there.
Some people that are watching this that might be of a younger audience, those are actually cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes like an MP3, but you have to have a player. Yeah.
Yes. My concern was you're going to open that up and there's going to be vinyl inside. That would have thrown most of the audience.
Yeah, vinyl's like a CD, but you have to scratch it. Yeah.
Sharp fingers.
So this is great. This was my introduction to Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is, as Steve just said, basically Think and Grow Rich is the only self-help book I think anybody needs for anything, work, home, anything. But my introduction to Napoleon Hill came through receiving this Nightingale Conant audio set, and I was at work one day. I was a partner in an import agency, and this just arrived on the desk, completely unsolicited. So I took it home and played it, and never looked back. Complete life-changing moment. And what's included in here is basically everything that's in Think and Grow Rich. In Napoleon Hill's own words, there's rare interviews with Napoleon Hill in there, lectures with him. It's just very good. And if you are an auditory person as opposed to a visual person, it's a very quick and easy way of getting those principles into your head, and so that you can use them. I think before anybody starts any new project, they ought to. I said product then, but any new project, getting hold of some Napoleon Hill is the best thing you could do. If you don't want to get hold of this audio set, then as Steve says, Think and Grow Rich is a place to start. So there you go. That was my first one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it certainly is an intriguing man, is Napoleon Hill. You know, the way he goes about collating his research, it just goes to show some things that need to be successful take time to gather the information, and it's same with the Think and Grow Rich. You know, it was information gathered over decades, as opposed to just like spending a year or sitting down with somebody and having a list of open-ended questions and just going through them and having a dictaphone to record and then just type it all out. You know, this book was not collated in that fashion.
And effectively, any other book that's ever been written about success is basically based on Think and Grow Rich. The principles in Think and Grow Rich are where it's at. If you are a sort of an internet fiend and you like to sort of dig around on websites and things and find more information about things, on YouTube there's some fantastic footage of Napoleon Hill. It's pretty cheesy. He's supposedly talking directly to you at his desk, but it's fantastic footage, and rare to see Napoleon Hill in person on film at all.
I think you bringing up YouTube there, John, is a seamless link into my second offering.
It's almost like we rehearsed this, and I can tell you we really didn't. So
no, no, we didn't.
If we thought
that will become completely apparent later.
I wouldn't be drinking my water out of a pint glass if that was it. But,
yeah, all right. I've got a Bacardi glass and it's got my water in. Yeah, completely unrehearsed. So we're not even sponsors, dear oh dear. They're not even sponsors. Sorry, yeah, something I have to look into. John, getting some sponsors. Anybody out there wants to sponsor this? Would you really want your name put to this? So moving on then. So you mentioned obviously you can find a few bits of clips of Napoleon Hill on YouTube. That is a great resource. I use it quite a lot. You have to be very disciplined when you use YouTube though for collating resource, using it as a resource to gather information and knowledge, and you're researching things. The reason why I say that is because there is so much on there. There's videos up. I mean, literally, it's like 24 hours of videos uploaded every minute. I think it is now on YouTube. It's a ridiculous amount of footage. But what you need to do is before you switch your computer on and you log into YouTube, you need to have a list really. It's only a short list of what it is, the precise things that you are wanting to look for and gain information and knowledge about, and write those few things down. And don't deviate from that list. It's so easy to get sidetracked from a video, going to a video, and you start looking at how to maybe or set up an email campaign. Next thing, you're watching, I don't know, motorbikes doing wheelies down motorways, or planes crashing or coming into land and nearly missing buildings, and people doing the daftest things with baseballs, throwing them over the top of barn roofs and landing 300 feet away, or something stupid. It's very easy to get distracted. They were good videos, but they distracted me. So you have to be very disciplined with it and say, hang on a second, I've set myself a task. I need to use this. You wouldn't go to, I don't know, a seminar and then take your portable DVD player and stick a movie on when you've just paid £5,000 to listen to this expert in their field. You would listen and you would take copious notes. It's the same thing with YouTube. Stay focused and dedicated to the task at hand, which is I need to find out how to actually set up my own email campaign. And there's videos on what software to use to be able to send and receive emails and measure everything. Test and measure is paramount in anything that you do. You need to be able to test and measure. There's a mentor which I had the very good fortune to sit down in his house, a chap called Steve Morgan, and he actually said, test to measure, test to measure. And I said, that is what I do. And he said, yes, that is paramount. You need to do that in everything that he teaches people. So a little endorsement there for Steve. Same thing with regards to when you're looking at the resource, once you've got the software in place, how do you actually create an email itself? You know, do you do a broadcast? Do you do an email send? Do you collect data from a data list provider? Do you try and generate your own list? And there's all these different elements that go into making up an email campaign, which is obviously the example I'm giving now. So you would make your list of what you're looking to find on YouTube based on those parameters, if you like. And then you go onto YouTube and you type in the search box those specific terms that you're looking for and watch the footage through. Now, I do this now for two reasons. One is what's new out there and what people are talking about, what's trending sort of thing that I need to be at the top of my game on. And what are actually people saying work? Because, I mean, obviously I've been in this game now for over a decade and I feel like I've got quite a lot of knowledge. I certainly don't know everything. And my dad always says, when you think you know everything, you know nought. Proper Yorkshire bloke, my dad. And it's very true. So I'm always there looking to learn, you know, always being that sponge and just trying to absorb as much knowledge as I can within my field. And what I do is I'll look at certain videos and say, are people actually, do they know what they're on about here, or they're just talking a lot of waffle? You know, have they seen somebody else's video then thought, do you know what, I'm going to make my own video on that, and I'm basically going to rip what they've said, put it into my own words, and see if I can build a following, which is a great way of them building a list, to be fair. But if you don't know it yourself inside and out, and you're just copying someone, you're no expert. You're just someone trying to make easy money from something. I've no problem with people making easy money, you know, but it doesn't quite sit right with me. You either learn it and then teach it in the right way and understand it. So when those questions come in, you can answer them. Because those people that put these videos together and they're like, oh, well, yes, you do this, you do that. They've got all that and they've rehearsed and practiced it before they've shot the video. But if you, 9 times out of 10, if you put those people in a room and they did that training and then they had a Q&A at the end, they'd go, well, I'm not quite sure. Each situation is maybe slightly different, and I won't want to misquote or misrepresent or mislead you in any way. Basically, they're avoiding answering the question because they don't have the knowledge, because they've just copied somebody else. And that's the quickest way to find out. But they would never hold a face-to-face in person because they know they couldn't do it. That's why I hold face-to-face. You know, I do seminars where I'll stand at the front of a room or I'll sit down around a very small table with a collective of 5 people and I will train them one-on-one and we'll have the Q&A and we'll do the Q&A all the way through the half day or the full day's training. And I've had feedback from people that own utility companies, people that own accountancy firms, people that own office refurbishment companies, people that do well-being and wellness coaching and nutrition, said, you know your stuff. We're really pleased with attending this. You know what you're on about. The training's structured. You can answer the questions. You've given us more in this space than when we've been on a dedicated training, just one element of this. And I've got all the facts to back this up, and I've got the testimonials to prove it on video, on headed paper. So I know what I'm on about, otherwise these people wouldn't endorse that fact. So when you're on YouTube, be focused, stick with your list, and look at, is this right or is this wrong? Does that sound like it can hold water, or are they just very good at putting a video together to make me try and buy something? So look for the sales pitch is what I'm saying, I guess, in YouTube videos. Is sometimes more details are in the link below in the description. You click on that and you go to a sales page. I'd be very dubious. Just give it a bit of time. It could be really good information they're selling, but do your due diligence. You know,
Yeah.
do a Google on the name of that person. If they come up and they've got a catalogue of all this stuff and this history behind them, fine. If you can't find their name on, I mean, you Google Steve Swift marketing or anything like that, I will come up. I'll dominate the first couple of pages on Google because I have got all this knowledge and history, and it's all there on my websites to show that I've got the information and knowledge, and I've been out there and I've done it. So it gives like credibility to me that I have actually got the facts to back up everything I'm saying. If you can Google somebody's name and they don't come up, how bona fide are they? I guess is what I'm saying. They're probably an affiliate marketer, and I'm involved with affiliate marketing as well. So that's another topic probably, John. But I suppose the point is YouTube. Stay focused. Have your list. Be very cautious as to who you're taking the information from. If it's a free source of information like what we're doing here, then fine, go away and test it and try it because it's just a bit of time going to be spent. But if somebody's wanting you to part with something of this when you don't know them, just be a bit careful and do a bit of research on them and find out more about the person. But other than that, YouTube, very powerful, very great resource. But there's a lot of cack out there as well, so do be careful.
I think the other thing with YouTube as well is that sometimes even if you've got your list, you'll run through it and you'll watch a video and you'll say, right, well, and you'll follow the steps or whatever, and then 3 or 4 weeks later you'll say, oh, I'll just watch that video again, and you can't find it. Now there's a way around this, which is to download a browser called Firefox, and if you use Firefox for your YouTube browsing, you find a video that you like in the right hand corner of Firefox up at the top, which I'm not quite sure which way around the screen works, but either way, in the right hand corner of that screen there's a little button and you can download any videos on your page there, which means that if you find a YouTube video that's particularly good, you can download it and keep it for future reference, which is something that I use all the time.
Well, I've got another resource. If we're talking about downloading videos, do you want me to jump in with that one now? Or?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll probably have to put a link. And it doesn't matter about clicking this link. You know what I just said before, guys, when I was saying if there's a link, be dubious. This software is completely free to download and it's legitimate as well. But it's extremely powerful software. And I mean really powerful. What John just said, it takes it to another level. You can literally just download and save to your computer, to a local file on your computer, any video on YouTube you like. If you just want the audio track, it will just download the audio from that video. If you then want to convert it and put it onto your iPod, it will convert it into your iPod. If you wanted to play on your tablet in a different format, it will do that. If you want to convert it, if you want to edit it, if you want to mix it, if you want to merge it onto one, it will do all that.
Excellent.
You could then, if you wanted to, re-upload it onto your YouTube channel just with the video part and you doing a voiceover, and it'll record a voiceover of you actually dictating through. It is extremely powerful, and I use it a lot.
Fantastic. Great. So
we're going
to put
software,
the link on there?
Yeah, it's called DVD Video Soft.
Okay.
Now, the title sounds a little bit encryptive, possibly, but trust me, it's a safe bit of software. But yeah, it's called Free. Well, there's something called Free Studio Manager as well. But if you're just going to Google and type DVD Video Soft, I'll just double check it while we're doing this video, John, just to make sure it does come up for people. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure it does, because that's where I found it. Let me just launch my browser in the background there and just minimize that down. And then if we do DVD video, oopsie daisy, I won't know what to type for video soft. There we go. Yeah, as soon as you type in DVD Video Soft, all one word, it comes right at the top. And it's also backed by various other software companies throughout the United States, Germany, Greece, Luxembourg, Russia, and the UK. And it's basically DVD Soft, free studio, YouTube to MP3, YouTube downloader. But inside that, when you download that to your computer, it just gives you a whole host of different software packages that you can download. It's a massive catalogue. I've probably got about 30 different bits of software in this one place, which is all in one place on my computer, and I just choose which one I actually want to use. So extremely powerful. You can put slideshows and all sorts together with it. So, but yeah, DVD Video Soft, highly recommend it. I've been using it for years, so we'll put a note probably in
Fantastic.
the link below, John.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
So that's number 2 I'm giving there, actually, isn't
So
it?
you've given, yeah.
Three actually. So I've done Napoleon Hill, I've done YouTube, and I've done the DVD video soft.
That's right. I better do my.
Oh, we're knocking these out, aren't we?
I better do my number 2 then, hadn't I?
Absolutely.
Right. My next one is another all-time classic, and it's basically it's about finances. This one, whether personal or business, and I don't know if you can see that. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason.
Yep, that's nice and clear.
And that is exactly as I said. It's basically a financial system for more or less automatic wealth building, and certainly in today's world, it's very, very useful. I'm not going to give away the system. If you see, there is a particularly famous American motivational speaker who runs a course about finances, and what he's done is taken that book, put his name on the top, and recorded himself telling you what's in this book. It's pretty reasonable priced book. I think it was less than a tenner. You can read it in a couple of days, but it's another life-changing book. You'll notice with me a lot of my recommendations are classic texts, because if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And the things that do work, I try and find the root. So that is my next pick for you. And I would recommend you get hold of a copy of that as quickly as possible, so that you can have processes in place for when money starts to come in.
What's the title on that one again, John?
The title on that one again is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. And you can see it's not a difficult book to read. They've sold 2 million copies of that so far. There we go.
Good. Did you want to push straight on with your third then, John?
I'll push straight on with my third one. Now, I had trouble picking the third one because this is a book by a guy called Ken Blanchard with Spencer Johnson. Now, these are the people who are responsible for the 1 Minute Manager series, and this is a book called Raving Fans, and it's basically an approach to customer service. There's another book which is a companion to this called Gung Ho, which if we do this again, I'll talk about that then. But Raving Fans is basically about how you provide service to your customers, which will then get them to do your marketing for you. And it's another very quick read. You can see there the spine is not thick, but it's just very, very good. On the back here it says it's written in the parable style, which if you've read any 1 Minute Manager books, you'll be familiar with that. It's a simple and charming story. Raving fan service should be a constant feature and not just a passing fad, which is basically what I've been teaching for years. So I read this and went, wow, vindication. So, and really, it's a guide to using customer service to affect your bottom line, which is the whole reason why we're in this. So that was my number 2. Oh, we're cracking through these, Steve.
Absolutely.
Do you want
that's
to?
Number
that's
3,
number
actually.
3 even. Yeah. So do you want
You're
to?
struggling with numbers today, John.
Do
you remember what episode we're on, John?
It took about 5 attempts to get this episode started today. Folks, I tell you,
that just goes to prove that we do not pre-record this. Well, we don't stage it, we don't script it, we don't try and rehearse it because it just wouldn't happen. So
we should just.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realise quite how hard we have to not laugh, because what
really hard.
What may not come across is actually I'm really funny.
Yes, he's really funny.
So we should do a bloopers tape, but it'd be longer than these episodes.
Oh, don't get me going, because you know when I start laughing I can't stop.
Thank God he said laughing.
Well, it'd be best for them to sell them.
Right. What else you got for us, Steve?
Right. Okay. As I said earlier, I like to try and give as many free resources as possible. Obviously, the Napoleon Hill is a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
It's a non-considered purchase. It's a couple of quid for the book. From many online and offline good book retailers, without dropping any names. But also, recently they brought out the audio for the Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich as well. So you can download it onto your various electronic devices. And listen to it wherever you are. So it's fantastic. Moving on with the free resources, there's another one which I use where people will write various articles about their experiences. It's not like a chat or a forum sort of thing, but it's something which I use to post articles, and it's a great way, to be honest. I use it, one, to share a bit of information and knowledge with people, but it's also got a second meaning to it for me, which is it drives traffic to certain pages on my website or to a certain product page of a product I might be actually promoting on behalf of somebody else. I mentioned affiliate marketing, that's that element. But I also drive people to my own books that I've written or video series which I've put together, showing people on specific areas of business or even starting a business, a little home-based business sort of thing, as a second income scenario. Now that resource is called Hub Pages.
Right.
Straightforward as that, HUBPAGES, Hub Pages, and you can sign up for free. It's very self-explanatory on how you can write an article on there. It's literally just what they call cells, which is just small blocks of a Word document. It's exactly the same scenario as that. And you write your text, you do your size of your font, your colours, etc. And you can put links as well into there. And it's literally a case of click on the little horseshoe symbol, which is to put a hyperlink, and just type in the website address you want them to go to, and it does it all for you. You can also, with that, you can actually make a little bit of money on that. You're not going to get rich on this, guys. Let me be honest. We're talking like a few cents for every couple of articles you write if they use it. And how they do that is you sign up, you link like your eBay account up, you link up your associates with Amazon accounts up, and various other affiliate platforms that are out there, and they will drop, or you can actually set up what items, whether it's a book, whether it's a fishing reel, whether it's, I don't know, whatever it might be, that's relevant to the article that you're writing about. And because people are reading that article, the images that you've selected to actually from eBay or from Amazon or whatever that are relevant to the article, they're more likely to click on that and go and have a look and then potentially purchase. And for Amazon, for Amazon's way of saying thank you for putting our advert on there rather than somebody else's, they'll reward you with a percentage of the sale of the item if that person then goes on to purchase. So there is an opportunity to make a little bit of money, but you need to be writing consistent articles, a couple every week, week in, week out. But I use that as a resource when I'm looking for information, because I can go and type in a search box about a particular element of marketing which I'm looking to see, is there any changes? Has there been a shift in patterns here for how this particular method works? Is there something new out there which I need to know about? So it's just, again, keeping my knowledge base current. So Hub Pages is the place, another one of the places where I will go, which is completely free. It's just a case of taking your time to go through the various articles on there, and it rates people as well, John, which is very, very useful.
Right.
There's a scoring counter on everybody's profile that goes up to 100, and the higher up they are, the more consistent they are, and the more people are actually reading their articles. So the algorithms in the background that denote what rating people get is based on the relevance and the amount of articles they write on a particular topic, and then how many times those articles have been engaged with and people have clicked on and stayed on for a period of time, and that's how it ranks their actual score rating. So I would highly recommend Hub Pages as my number 4 resource.
Fantastic. So yeah, it looks like I'm on number 4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another book. Most of what I'm talking about today are books, because I'm a real book fiend. Actually, you can't see it, but over the top of where the camera is, I've got a bookshelf which is just full. So this one is.
So if the British Library are looking for half of their stock,
yeah,
John's office.
My house, yeah. So yeah, this one is called Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. My guess is a lot of people have heard of this book already. This one I got from a well-known auction site because it was difficult to find at the time. And this goes back to what we were saying in the first couple of episodes that we did, which was, you start your own business and suddenly you have to be an expert in everything. Well, maybe you're not an expert in certain things, and one of the things that I certainly wanted to find out more about was different methods of selling, and this was the book that did it, and this completely changed the way that I approached not the marketing, but the sale of what I do. And you can see there on the cover that SPIN stands for situation, problem, implication, and need payoff. And that's basically the sales process broken down into 4 things. Neil Rackham owns a sales research, or used to own a sales research company called Hustwaite, which was the top sales research company in the world. And most importantly, as you can see again on the cover, studies of 35,000 sales calls to put this together. It's without doubt this should probably be, if you had to rate which book you should read first or which resource you should go for first, I would go for that every single time. Reading Napoleon Hill and everything else, but for an actual technique that works and that makes money straight away, that's the one I would go for. So that is my number 4.
Big endorsement there, John.
Absolutely.
So take heed, people. John doesn't say things just for the good of his health and to the sound of his own voice.
Absolutely.
Not all the time.
Now there is there is a companion book that goes with this, which is the Spin by the same guy, which is the Spin Selling Field Book. So if you find that you read through this and you say, I'm not quite sure how to apply it to my business, get the field book as well, and that sort of works you through how to apply everything. But it's a great little book, and it's one that you can read fairly quickly. You won't want to put it down, and it's very, very easy to apply.
Excellent. Great resource share there, John. Hopefully people are looking to getting themselves a copy of Spin Selling. So moving on to my 5th and final, since we've kept it to 5, struggled as it may be. Mine, again, is yet another free resource, as promised. And so I'll deliver on that promise, as I always do. And that is the
there was a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to make it.
There's obviously a bit of a
everybody's ahead of me anyway.
Yeah. It's a bit of a theme running through my resources, and although I do read books, I'm not a massive fan of book reading. I do find it a bit of a challenge for me. I digest information more by watching the video or listening to an audio side of things. But I'm not not picking up a book and flicking through the page and having a read. Obviously, if the content's good and it's worthwhile, then obviously you make the effort, don't you? But my final resource that I'm going to share today with everybody watching the video is another online platform where there is people that are experts in their field. They know what they're doing, and that's why they're getting their articles and their news feeds published on this particular website. And it covers a multitude of feeds with regards to information about the here and now, what's happening, what's working, what isn't working, what's just crashed, what hasn't just crashed in the world of business. That is not actually a physical, bending of metal and people getting injured. Crash. So the resource that I'm going to share with everybody today is called Mashable.com. Now, this is a fantastic website. It's a huge website, but literally it's set up where you can pick any particular category you like in business and then drill down a couple of sub-levels to find out the latest stories that people are sharing their knowledge about. And they're very open with the sharing of the knowledge as well. It's not just a case of, we're going to give you this little bit, and then also if you want to know more, then phone us up, send an email and book our services, or buy our book, or buy our DVD set, or whatever it might be. They are very open with their knowledge, and they share enough which will enable you to actually implement yourself and see what kind of results you get from it. So Mashable.com is my fifth and final contribution to this episode. And I'd highly recommend going and have a look and having a read through the articles that's on there, because there is some really powerful content and usable content as well without having to pay a penny, which is fantastic. So it's just investing some of your time and building up your knowledge bank yourself. So you'll want to make some notes on when you go on Mashable as well. So Mashable.com is my fifth, John. How about yourself?
Excellent. Well, my fifth. This took some this took some deciding this, but being as we were talking about branding last week, and being as how I've never actually read a business book which was quite so comprehensive, I've actually gone for this, which is Richard Branson Business Strip Bear.
I had to bite my lip then. I nearly said, a nickname for him.
Right.
Held back.
Well, the interesting thing...
He's a lovely guy. Never met him in person, but I've tweeted him a few times.
What you do in the privacy of your own home, Steve, is entirely your business. Tweet away. That's what
I do. I do it at the office as well, So
I've heard that about
I'm
you.
not prejudiced. We're off topic.
We are, aren't we? But the thing about
reel it back in.
The thing about Richard Branson is, there are only two opinions of Richard Branson. You either really like him or you can't stand him.
He's a Marmite man, isn't he?
He is, and I have to say that whatever you think about him, his record of success speaks for itself. And this book came out after I read another one of his books, which was called Screw It, Let's Do It, which is pretty much a motivational, very quick read. But I got hold of this one at the time when people like Duncan Bannatyne and Theo Paphitis and the sort of the Dragon's Den people were all writing these kind of books.
Doing a spin-off from the show, weren't they? Yeah, milking it.
Absolutely. And then this one came out, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And in all fairness, this is one of the most comprehensive guides to branding and running a successful business you will ever read. It breaks things down. Let's just flick through. We've got sections on people, brand, service delivery, product delivery, learning from your mistakes, learning from Richard Branson's mistakes and setbacks, innovation and how you should use it. And there's a really great chapter about leadership and entrepreneurs before finishing off with a chapter about social responsibility, which is something that I think is very important anyway. There's not a lot else to say about this book. If you're in business at all, it's just a fantastic breakdown of the process. I picked so many hints and tips out of this book that it would just be amazing to. I mean, it would take an hour just to talk through part of this book. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you to go out and get hold of a copy. If you don't want to buy it, go to your library, flick through it. You will be impressed.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and that was my number 5. And I think between the two of us, we've presented a lot of.
We're giving a couple of options out. We've got like free resources there. We've got paid resources there. You can get on multiple mediums as well. By that I mean hardback, physical holding your hand product, or an audible, or an entertaining visual with the video side of things. So, certainly there's plenty there, and certainly gives an indication to people as to where they can find this information. The reason why I do what I do is because there are people out there in business that, how can I put this politely, haven't got the time to actually find the information themselves, so they will happily pay me to actually do it for them.
Yeah.
Which is there's a demand for it. Hence, I set the business up to fulfil that demand. It's like anything, Not everybody wants to clean the streets themselves, so there's street cleaners. Not everybody wants to paint their own house, so there's decorators, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So that's why I offer this. So we're offering this so you don't have to actually pay somebody to do it. You can spend the time learning. If you don't have the time, or you're not in a position to spend the time to be able to find this information, you'd rather just pay somebody that already knows, back to previous episodes, knowledge is king that we spoke about. We're about visions and mind setting, etc. Then arm yourself with the knowledge. Then go out there and say, right, you've got this situation that you're in. You need this information. Do you have the time to go and find it and learn it and educate yourself and bring yourself up to speed? Or would you rather jump the other side of the hoops and pay somebody to actually deliver you the knowledge and the information and get you the result that you're looking for? I want the result and I want it now. Right, that's how much it's going to be and this is how long it's going to take me to deliver it. Fine, get on with it. Job done.
Absolutely. And I think that, I mean, you're very much like myself. We've both got a passion for learning, and for me, it's bordering on an obsession. But there are people out there. I
need time out to fly my helicopter.
I can't understand why people don't have the same obsession that I do about this, but there are people out there who couldn't care less about sitting and learning this stuff.
They'd rather just spend the money and pay someone to do it, which is fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I will say is that actually the level of confidence that you'll get in your own abilities within your own business by at least knowing the basics will pay you back time and again.
Absolutely.
Because,
and why do you think that is, John? And I've got my interpretation of it, but why do you think it's important people know the basics?
Because you will, you'll know when people are trying to pull the wool over your eyes. That's the first thing. But more importantly is you will take more decisions within your business relating to moving your business forward on the spot than you would if you didn't have that level of confidence. And if someone says to you, for example, do you want to take out this kind of advertising? And you've got to make a spot decision. Well, if you've got the basics of marketing behind you, even if you don't know the whole thing, if you know, well, actually, I know roughly what I can expect to get back from that, and I know that actually my potential prospect doesn't read that publication, well, then you can quite easily say yes or no to that on the spot decision instead of saying, come back to me in 3 days, when you already don't have the time to do the research. So they come back in 3 days and you may make the wrong decision. Or keep.
I think that's one of the, you know what I mean? That's one of the things where, people come to me, is we've been asked time and time again, we keep getting all these phone calls, we get these letters to the post, we get these flyers saying we can get you all this, we can guarantee you this, we can have value to your business. This is really cheap advertising, one thing or another. It's cheap for a reason.
Yeah.
If they can guarantee and they can deliver on that guarantee, make sure it's in writing. Because there's very little advertising marketing companies that will guarantee to be able to deliver a financial reward right at the beginning. If they're saying they can get something for you right at the beginning before they know anything about your business, chances are they're just after the money. Because there's no way they can possibly know the ins and outs of your business well enough to know if they can actually get the delivery of the end result of a financial reward for you. Because every business is different. They don't know your situation. They don't know your desire. They don't know what financial situation you're in with regards to a budget to put at something. So for them to turn around and say, we can guarantee you this amount of money income, I'd give it a wide berth. I think they're just after some money. Well, from my experience.
Well, let's put it this way. If you get a company that you think is legitimate saying to you, we guarantee you X amount of return, and you say to them, okay, so that means that if I don't achieve that amount of return, you give me my money back. If they say no, they're not guaranteeing it, are they?
They're not confident in the guarantee that they're actually
offering. The guarantee doesn't exist.
But the other side of it, I mean, we're kind of like delving into it a little bit more, but I suppose it's information that I think people need to be armed with, so I'm more than happy to share it, is moving on from that. It's like, we'll guarantee you X amount. Okay, in what time frame?
Yeah.
So you've got your expectations set right. What extra money do I have to put in this to achieve that? Because they might say, if you pay us £250, we will guarantee at some point in the future that you will achieve this amount of return investment.
Yeah.
As long as you pay a bit more money. Pardon? As long as you pay a bit more money.
Yeah.
So, that's the sort of questions that you need to, be asking them. It's great to make a claim, and they make these big claims. It's like, our website gets 45 million hits a month. Amazing. How many of those people are actually my potential
Yeah,
customer?
exactly. Yeah.
And you suddenly realise this grand figure, and it's sales at the end of the day. I can't knock it for it. It's a strategy, it's a technique that they use. And the people do buy into it. It's like, blimey, 45 million people. My business is going to get seen by. No, it's not. No, it's not, because what they won't tell you until you get further into the conversation and you're about to give them your credit or debit card details or whatever it might be as payment, that you can actually, for the amount of money that you're spending, get 20,000 impressions, which is basically your advert being seen on 20,000 computer screens. It's not actually somebody clicking on the ad.
No.
It's a big difference. So, but again, this is what I'm armed with, this knowledge. So I can explain it to the business owner and say, before you go and spend your £1,000, can I explain to you exactly what you're getting for your £1,000? And then let's see if it's still worthwhile you doing it.
Yeah.
And when I explain what they're actually getting from these advertising companies that's doing these media buys, etc., that it's all of a sudden like, all right, so it's not actually people clicking, going through to my website and then buying my product. Is it heck? There's percentages of impressions that will then click, percentages of clicks which will then go on to buy. But then you've also got a percentage of refunds that may well happen, which, in real world, refunds do occur. Yeah. So you've got to look it all the way through and then say, right, this is how much it's cost me. That's what I'm actually left with. Divide one by the other. That's your price point for your average customer value, which is another topic we can talk about further on down the line. Is that worth it? So it might work out that it's costing you £100 for every customer.
Yeah.
That actually goes on to buy and stays after you've gone through the whole process. And is £100 per customer good value for money? Well, if every time they buy they're spending 20 grand with you, then maybe yes. But if each one of your sales is only yielding you £50, maybe not. Unless it's a residual monthly £50, then okay. Your customer has to have a lifespan of X amount of months or X amount of years for you to be happy with £100. So that's analysis that I suppose. And it's going off from free resources, which we started this topic on.
I should just point out to people who aren't from Yorkshire that is it heck means no. You can. That's Steve from Yorkshire Marketing Business. Showing you how to get something for
doing exactly what it says on the tin.
Showing you how to get something for nothing this week.
Something for now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So,
well,
I say it as I say it, and now I find it.
I say what I like, and I like what I bloody well say. Oh, that was. Do you remember that? Yeah, I can't remember who used to say that now. Fred Elliott.
There's a competition that was launched. I know we're going off topic here, but there's a competition that was what happened there? There's a competition that was launched in
something going on under the desk there.
Yeah. 1st of August was Yorkshire Day for those that didn't know, and there was a local town where I'm based that it was the inaugural acceptance, if you like, and involvement of Yorkshire Day, and a booklet was put together, and a local place where you will put money to make savings and have an account, one thing or another. I'm not saying it's a bank or a building society. They put together a quiz, and it was to raise money for a local charity that was being set up, and it was the Yorkshire dialect quiz. Now, I've been, born and bred in Yorkshire for so many years, and
21, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Plus that, and the way that keeps going up.
We were in the same year at school.
Yeah. And basically this Yorkshire dialect competition, if people haven't seen one of those things, it's quite amusing. And they actually write the words as they will be said, but you've got to try and read them back and then interpret in the best possible Queen's English as to what it actually means. And being from Yorkshire, I struggle with some of them as well, and it's like, blimey. Okay. That's probably why some people turn around and say, excuse me, what did you just say? Can't understand what I've just said today. Well, there we go. So, but anyway, yes. I don't know why I went off on that topic, but never mind.
I think
this just goes to show it's completely off the cuff. Rehearsed my left flip-flop. You were sweating there, weren't you?
Now you read that.
There we go. So anyway, wrapping it up, I think.
Absolutely.
Handing back to the maestro over
Absolutely.
there. John, if you'd like to do the honours.
Well, as ever, I hope you found it useful, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks again, Steve, for joining me again this week.
Anytime.
What topic did we decide on for next time?
Glad you asked.
That's good.
Absolutely. And I think it's important that we inform people as to what the actual topic is.
Keep stalling. You can't remember either, can you?
I do have a list in front of me, and I know that obviously I could tell you exactly what we've done in previous episodes as well. But no, I think what we said we were going to do was we were going to do success costs money, but we've got a topic before that, which is the world getting smaller? Right. And obviously, with the power of technology, etc., then it may well become there's less boundaries, and people are easily. No, that isn't a word, isn't it? Easily reached, even. That was just water. I need to get some filtered water next time. I don't know. Yes, with technology, etc., it means people are in easier reach for your business, and it's like they're just being down the road rather than in another country. So I thought it was an interesting topic. It might not take long. There we go again. It might not take long to get through the topic, but it's a worthwhile topic just to cover at the very least, I think, John.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, on that note, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you again next week, Steve.
Okay. See you later, everybody. Thanks for watching.